I'm from Texas, but I do have certain beliefs that some crimes do not have a benefit of redemption, and some of them require the most egregious form of punishment. I'm gonna be on. I'll stand on that. I know that's not something that is morally favorable, but I feel like people like R. Kelly need to be put underneath the jail cell rather than in a jail cell.
Why?
I don't think that there is any redemptionable action in what he did. I don't think that I don't think that we should allow him to like. That's something that's egregious enough to be like, okay, yeah. But
Okay.
me
The thing
specifically, it's
is
mostly an emotional response. I will admit and concede to that. It is an emotional response to that, specifically when it comes to certain crimes.
yeah, that makes sense. That it's an emotional response. Um, but it seems like kind of the whole entire justice system and, all of society is meant to be situated around, limiting what I would call like primitive emotions, right? Like a lot of crimes are done due to emotional responses. And equivalently, our emotional responses should not inform how we respond to those. It should be more so what is actually beneficial to society. Um,
Okay.
and how I view it, the death penalty is very rarely, if ever, right, systemically beneficial to society.
Okay, I can concede to that. Yeah. I just
Yeah.
maybe you can try to convince me into because I understand that it is wrong, but it's still a position that I hold. But I just haven't had anyone give me a good enough reason to be like, okay, maybe not.
Mm. The best thing I can say is, first of all, the criminal's family also has feelings and emotions. That is true, right? And the people that care about the criminal also have feelings and emotions, and they are innocent, right? They're fully innocent, so there's no reason to punish them unduly, right? Just like maybe you might get some emotional reprieve by ending that person's life, so you're certainly causing some emotional harm. Uh, Secondarily, when you talk about it, you're guaranteeing that certain innocent people die. You're guaranteeing it. It's completely and utterly unavoidable.
How so? Oh.
How so?
Yeah, when you said you guaranteeing it.
It's never not happened. We've never had a death penalty system that has been 100% correct.
Oh,
There
okay.
will
I
be
see what you
flaws
mean.
in
I
human
see what you
judgment
mean.
and
Yeah.
application.
I see what you mean. You're right. I understand. You're right.
Yeah, those would be my
But
two
I would
things. Is when you feel like, oh, this is the worst person. They're totally valuable. Value people that aren't
my
them.
contingency on that is like thinking about the families of the victims and like for example say like some the person in prison killed a 14-year-old child just for instance, and that family is having to deal with like he's just getting jail or he's just getting this amount of sentence for taking away that life of a child, because a lot of time, not a lot of the time, but there are instances where these people do get out and do the crimes again. Not saying that that's like a constant or like a factor that we should put into whether or not the death penalty should be or should not be. But like, I also think that like sometimes, whether it's good or not, that the death penalty does provide closure to families that feel that their wrongdoings have not been completely rectified with just jail time.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes that. First of all, just thank you for the person that just cashed at me. I think Robert did. Thank you, I appreciate it. But second of all, a few things here. When you unalive someone for the death penalty, you are certainly causing some form of pain, harm, grief to the family and people that care about him. And you are possibly helping the person along their journey that they hurt, right? So, you know, I guess that's when we get into the question of whether we base it off feelings, even if we did base it off feelings, I think pretty much always the emotional weight and the emotional benefit will fall on not ending their life.
Okay, well, what
You
about in
know,
capital cases with like serial killers?
yeah, I feel like if you ask most of those families, unaliving the criminal helped, but didn't erase, right? Whereas when you unalive the criminal, you are starting a new thing. You understand what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, because like with the death of the original serial killer, it could bring instances of copycats and people who are trying to live on the legacy through whatever means. Yeah, okay. Damn, you have some pretty good points.
Yeah. And I think like the other thing I'd like to point out with this is when we talk about serial unalivers, right? We've kind of sanitized unaliving, sanitized the death penalty. But when we talk about people that habitually violate like consent, like sexual consent and SAers, right? And that's often the point, is like child SAers we think should be unalived. My question is whether you would be comfortable with the government SAing them. Would we be comfortable with the government violating them in the same way they violated other people? I don't think so.
Me
Because while we've
personally, absolutely,
sanitized,
I would.
you would want the government to institutionally SA someone?
For if that individual did that to a child, absolutely, yeah. But only in that
Really?
specific instance. Let me make that very clear. If they were to do that to a child, yeah, I feel like you need to understand what you did to that child. You need to have someone take your, in maybe not in the same physical sense, but you need to have, I guess that's what jail is, but not entirely, not always, but I do feel like the government should institutionally take away your control and power of yourself for a certain amount of time so you can understand what you did to that person. And it's not like the government would like be opposed to doing that because they've been systematically doing that to like marginalized groups of people for like its conception.
I mean, they haven't been systematically SAing them. Like, I'm talking about hiring someone to, like, sexually violate them.
Oh,
Which,
I
like,
thought you
that's
were
the
talking about
question.
in like the metaphorical sense.
No, I mean literally.
I-
Because you're literally hiring someone to physically violate them right when you end their life.
yeah, I mean, like I said, if my point still holds, even if it's like not morally correct, I think that those people should be that the same thing that they did to that child should happen to them. And I don't feel like that's like a wrong thing to say.
I think it's very unintuitive. I
It
think the
might be.
vast
It
majority of
might
people would
be.
not be comfortable with
That
hiring an SAer,
that's you.
right?
You are probably correct. However, that
I
man
think
is a
that's a
criminal, and
wild take, personally.
I don't feel
Because
the
it doesn't.
same moral like what's the word? Responsibility towards that person after he violated a child. I feel like it's in God's hands now. You did that, and you need to reap the consequences of it, whatever severe they may be.
Okay, interesting. Well, those are the kind of the markers I would say is we haven't sanitized sexually violating someone. So if you think that you could actually say that we should hire like a federal rapist, then the I don't know. I think that has a lot of consequences morally that we should talk about.
Yeah,
But other
and
than
that's why
that,
we
right, I
don't.
would just
That's why we
say
don't do
the
it. I feel like
family
that's
of
why
the
we don't
people.
do it because it's stupid and nonsensical. But I'm going to answer honestly. Like I'm not gonna like give you some like bullshit answer that's gonna like make me. You
No,
ask
it's
me a
fair enough.
genuine question, and I wanted to give you a genuine. You do. This is what I feel. It's not what I think that they should do. Like what I think and what I feel are two separate things, and I probably should have led with what I think. But I'm coming from this specific anti-death penalty thing from what I feel rather than what I think, because that's the only. Because logically, no, we should get rid of it because like you're right. There's no instance where we should be justifiably taking a life from someone. However, if you ask me on a day-to-day basis what I think we should have done with like R. Kelly or Blueface, I'm gonna tell you we need to put them underneath the jail because there is no reason for a person to be violating a child.
Yeah, and if you feel that way, that's fine. But yeah, if you agree on a policy-wise basis that that's not really what we should do, like every day systemically,
Oh,
then
never.
yeah, we're
No,
pretty
no,
much in agreement.
that would be stupid. Yeah, that's just my emotional thing. Yeah, well, that's just my emotional stance. Policy wise, that's stupid, and I should be locked up for saying that.
Sorry about that, but yeah, no, I think we agree then. Anyway, if you don't disagree on anything else, I appreciate it coming up.
Oh, no problem. You have a great day.
You too. Oh baby, baby, you just got me started. I don't think I can stop it. I wanna go rage. Oh baby, baby. How's it going, everyone? Keep on sending likes. We got 4,000 likes right now. Thank you to people that sent gifts, and thank you to people that are sharing it. We got 2 shares right now. But I know we can do better, homies. So let's get moving. Thank you so much. But I appreciate all of you. I'm doing really well today. Guest requests are on, so if you want to disagree with me, send a guest request, and we can talk.